For me, even as a consumer, the product is just great. I think the reason why it's getting so much traction is it solves the problem for publishers because it allows video inventory on every page. It solves the problem for advertisers because you're guaranteed viewability. And then from a consumer point of view, as long as the video is actually relevant to me, I can control it and I can turn the sound on and sound off. I don't have to identify where that sound is coming from on my browser somewhere when it's hidden at the bottom of a page. So I think it's a really strong ad placement. I think internationally very similar to the US in that point where publishers are looking for different ways to monetize, especially to monetize mobile. And that's where I think the unit really comes into its own. That vertical video experience that Mary Meeker first identified in her report, I think that is kind of one of the most crucial developments, is actually how do we serve video inventory onto mobile in a way the users are going to engage with it, and it's actually going to bring something to the experience of mobile rather than kind of being on top of the content, like many banners on mobile were, when they first started mobile advertising. As soon as we announced our inline mobile unit, we had publishers calling us up wanting to know how to integrate it, how to get it onto their properties, because iOS inventory especially is so difficult to monetize for them. So if you can actually offer a seamless video experience, the users are going to not mind because it's still that user experience as far as turning on the sound, scrolling past it will stop the video from an advertiser's point of view, so you're not paying for people who aren't actually watching your message. Then it's perfect and it solves the problems for everyone.
So what's the attitude, again, well, getting back to the publishers, I think initially when this industry started, there was some pushback, some, how it works in the editorial flow of things. What is sort of the reaction of publishers nowadays, both from a sort of, obviously from the business standpoint, they like it, editorially and from a consumer standpoint, those people have concerns. What is the sort of the reception, if you will, to this kind of ad unit?
This isn't a new problem, right? This was the first newspaper ad, I'm sure, had exactly the same problem where the journalist didn't want it in. I have experience, I started my career at the Daily Telegraph, and it was always that kind of, the journalists on one side, the ad men on the other, wanting to do crazy things to stand out for a British Airways ad as opposed to actually, getting in the way of the content. So I think what digital is learning very quickly, and I personally think a lot quicker than most other mediums, you have exactly the same problem in TV. My film that I'm watching gets interrupted 4 times an hour. That's, as a consumer, that's not a great experience for me. But because of digital, because of the tools that we have, we can actually adapt to that very quickly. So we've gone from the world of underlays and overlays and pop-ups, and we've moved on into banners and MPUs, and now we're moving into actually an engaging video unit, and we'll keep evolving. We're not saying that inline is the final ad placement and everyone's going to be happy with this and this is how it's going to be forever. We need to keep going so that the publishers and the journalists at those publishers get more and more comfortable with the ad units that are appearing online, but also that the consumers are, right? And that's the most important thing. We can apply all of the targeting that we can. We can, at Virool, obviously, we even look at how you consume video content so that we know if you're someone who likes video content. But realistically, we need to come up with a placement and a video ad that actually works for the consumer as well, brings value to their journey. And that's always going to be a challenge, and that's why the rise of ad blockers and everything else is because at the moment people don't feel there's a value to digital advertising, which is crazy. You get the entire sum of human knowledge for free, and yet people are annoyed by having a couple of ads which they can click on or not click on. It's entirely up to them. So as an industry, I think we have to figure out, okay, well, what haven't we done here? What haven't we, maybe as an education piece, actually saying, well, look, this is what you get because of advertising. This is what this brings to your life. Or maybe it's actually just keep on evolving the placements to actually make a placement that everyone's okay with and everyone feels comfortable with, and instantly they get what it is. And I think we're starting to see that with native advertising, more and more. It's not about tricking people into seeing an advert and not realizing it's an advert. It's about actually placing it in a place and time and a context where it feels natural, so it's not a jarring experience. It's not that just as James Bond gets on the train, all of a sudden you have four adverts that you then have to watch before you pick up the rest of the film.